realized like I've been trying so much to be like, oh, I feel like I have to be perfect for the sit down video. Like I need to have on nice clothes, I need to have done my makeup. Like I just wanted to look a certain way so bad that it was delaying me filming this. And it's like I don't have that many updates. It's just tell them about your last rotation, tell them about your rotation right now. It's like I don't have that much to do, so why am I trying to make it so perfect? I don't know. Hey babes, welcome back to the channel. So now I'm gonna give you, as promised, that sit down video where I talk more about my elective rotation, which was in women's health, and my current rotation, because it actually is gonna end next week on Tuesday, and I am so excited. So first we're going to talk about the elective. So if you're interested in hearing how my PA rotation went, just stay tuned. So guys, my name is veeray. I'm a PA S2. I'm actually about to graduate December of this year, and I'm so excited. If you're new to my channel, I've made a lot of PA content since I've been in school for almost 2.5 years. Of course, when I graduate, my channel will take a turn. I'm not exactly sure what that turn will be yet, but I plan to still have a presence on YouTube. So if you are looking for PA content, keep watching, because I'm going to keep making it. I just don't know how. But anyway, I want to talk more about my elective right now. So my elective was in women's health. I mean, the ideal of the elective rotation is to really get more experience in a field or category that you think you may go into. Specialty is the word I was looking for. And since before starting school, even before starting undergraduate, I knew I wanted to work in medicine, and I knew I wanted to work with women. So my mom was kind of my like success story, because she went from being someone who worked behind a desk just as a secretary for years and years and years to becoming a nurse, and her whole goal was just like to help people. She wanted to help people. And so when I saw her doing that and the impact it made on her life, I was like, I also want to do that. I want to help people. And my mom did it in such a great way that it like really inspired me to help people. And so when I went to high school, of course, taking all the classes, I actually moved my 10th grade year to Texas. They of course had a lot more opportunities than they do in small town rural Mississippi, where I was going to public school. Classes I had never heard of. Like I took an acting class that's not heard of at my school, at my previous school. So when I got to school, I think I went to like the career counselor. Maybe she was just a regular counselor, but she helped you like figure out when you graduate high school, what do you want to do? And so like I said, it was in my mind I wanted to be in medicine. I just kind of wanted to see, based off this algorithm of this survey, like what part of medicine should I be a part of. So I did the survey, and I think the top choices were like, I should either be a therapist, I should be a doctor, I should be some other things, but those two stuck out to me. It was like either be a therapist or be a doctor. And then I was like, you know what, I am really good at listening to people. My whole goal in life so far has been I want to help people when I grow up. So yeah, okay, therapist or doctor, get it. And so then I had my first experience with an OBGYN, and I just thought it was so gracious how she was taking care of me. Mind you, I was young. I didn't understand pregnancy prevention. I didn't understand birth control. I didn't understand STDs, STIs. And she just took her time to really explain everything to me. And even if she had to be the bearer of bad news, she just had that spirit where it was like, I wouldn't mind getting bad news from you. Like, I feel like you care about me so much that when you deliver the news, you're not trying to hurt my feelings, you're not trying to shame me or whatever. Like, you're just there for me. And I was like, I want to be that for women. I want to be that person in your corner when you're getting good news, bad news, when you're trying to decide if you want to keep a pregnancy, terminate a pregnancy. Like, I want to be that person. So I figured this out my 10th grade year of high school. So when I was going to college, I knew I wanted to major in something that was pre-med or like medicine based. So that's what led me to my biochemistry background. I did the whole like 4 years basically thinking I wanted to be a doctor. But when it came time to like take the MCAT, because I was about to graduate and so I needed to get into medical school, I was like, I had another friend, me and her actually bonded on the fact we both wanted to be doctors. And when I saw how much she studied and how much time she was really dedicating in the library into studying for the MCAT and like all the things she was doing, I was like, she really has a drive to want to be a doctor. I, on the other hand, was not pushing myself that hard. And it's not because I didn't want to be in medicine. I just don't think I wanted to be a doctor. And so I was having a conversation, this is my junior year undergrad, and I was talking to my sister, and she was like, have you ever heard of a PA? At the time, I had never heard of a PA. I was like, is this like a new profession? I've never heard of this. So I went home, I did my research, and I was like, wow, I'm basically qualified to get into this program because I've done all the pre-medical classes because I want to be in medicine so bad. So I was like, you know, I'm actually qualified for this. I just need to do more like hands-on patient care experience hours. And I need to shadow a PA to see what they exactly do in medicine. Now, sadly, I never got a chance to shadow a PA, but I did shadow a nurse practitioner. I shadowed a doctor. I shadowed a radiologist. and I shadowed one more medical professional, again not a PA, but I was just like, okay, I think I do more than an RN, I do less than a doctor, I do almost equal to an MP. So it's like the people I got to shadow, they still formulated my mind on like what exactly a PA would do in this practice, but I didn't see it yet. But I applied to PA school 3 times. Applying to PA school, I'm sure it's only gotten worse since I applied the first time, and that is a lot of moolah. Third interview, I think I got like 3 interviews. I was waitlisted at 1 or 2, and then I got accepted to Veeray University, which is where I go now. So thank you, Veeray, because I was telling myself after this 3rd year of applying, I'm not applying again. I was actually looking for other professions in medicine to pursue. So I'm really happy I got in on my 3rd try. High school all the way up to undergrad, I knew I wanted to work in medicine. I knew I wanted to work with women. So when it came time to choose my elective rotation, it was already sat in my mind, I'm gonna choose women's health. Now, I did have a women's health rotation as a part of my core 7 rotations. And it was actually my 2nd rotation. And the office was really nice, the staff were really nice. If I had any questions, people were willing to answer them, but at that rotation, I was more of like a fly on the wall. So it was like, hand me the spatula, hand me the brush, okay, take my samples to the lab, okay, listen to this conversation, never provide feedback, never initiate the conversation yourself, like trying to get the patient's HPI. So after that rotation, I was like, I don't know if women's health is still for me, because that was boring. And I was like, I don't know if it's just because I'm a student and I'm a fly on the wall, but that was extremely boring, just to be in the room but not be able to do anything. So my 2nd rotation is my 6th rotation? 7th rotation. I was like, at this point, if I'm not more hands-on, I'm not going into women's health, because I haven't gotten a chance to get a feel for the profession at this point. And so my elective rotation, it started off kind of slow. I think she was trying to build me up to see where I could go throughout the rotation. So the first 2, maybe not the first 2 weeks, because when I told her it was my 7th rotation and I'm about to go on my 8th, which is my last one, she was like, okay, I have to kick you in high gear, because if this is what you want to do, I want to see you do this. So yeah, she started me off kind of slow. I was shadowing for like the first maybe 4 days. Then she would let me like tell all the education advice, like how to do breast exams, pap smears, when was the last time you seen your primary care doctor, ever been diagnosed with these type of conditions. She let me start asking more questions after like 4 days. I started to be the person asking the questions. She would still be in the room, and then as the rotation got closer to an end, she would start letting me go in the room by myself, ask all the questions, and present the case to her. We go in together and we come to like a plan, you know, amongst ourselves. And so I started liking women's health again at that moment. Once I started to get more hands-on experience and really see myself in the field, I was like, okay, I think I can do this. So I really enjoyed my rotation. I actually used to take notes every day, and they will look like this. It's so jumbled and messed up. Y'all, I had another notebook and I'm so mad I cannot find it. That one had like notes for weeks and weeks and weeks, because we're on rotations for 5.5 weeks. I had so many notes in my other notebook and I cannot find it. And I'm really mad because I wanted to keep it, so when I started practicing, I would have something to reference. Again, it did not look pretty, but it's just like I had a rough idea of like an algorithm or what I've done before with a patient like this. So I'm just kind of mad that I lost that, and it was really important to me. But I guarantee I'm gonna find it one day, cleaning out this house when I'm about to move or something, and I'm gonna find it. But anyway, it would look like this, very jumbled, very mumbled, but like I had like some education things. So like this is how you do an IUD insert. So you want to clean the cervix with betadine. You want to numb it, because they did numbing there. You want to put the tenaculum on the cervix to hold it in place. You want to use the uterine sound, which like measures how far the uterus is, because you want to make sure the IUD is in the fundus to be working. If it's anywhere other than the fundus, it does not work. You insert the IUD. You stop at the length that you determine with the uterine sound. There's like a button on the IUD machine. You press it. You wait like 10 seconds. You hear it click. You take it out. Now the IUD should be in place. So I took notes like that. For my school, we have to write down patients that we see every day. So this is just an example. I had a woman, 44 years old. She was here for a repeat pap smear because her first one showed ascus, which is like an undeterminable atypical type of cell. So because she was 44, we went ahead and did I guess we do that, everybody. You do a repeat 6-month pap smear. If it still comes back at that, you would do a colposcopy and take like a sample of the cervix. And then we did a cyst drainage on a 26-year-old. And then we saw a lot of obstetric appointments. So I had a 28-weeker who came in. Then we had, of course, some like, I wouldn't say urgent visits, but like some what do you call, like, what do you call those? Well, I guess you could call them urgent, because they weren't on schedule, but this happened, so they want to come in. So we had a woman with vulvar itching, and then we had a woman who wanted to do STD testing. So I would just keep track of all these things, for one, for my school, and for two, for my own, like, personal. And then she would always be asking me questions too, to keep me abreast to, like, what should I do with this patient, what should I do with that patient. So yeah, I would just be taking notes. Like I said, this is not the main notebook I use, so I'm missing so much. Like, I had down, when it comes to pregnancy, like what testing you do in the first, second, third trimester, like how often you do the testing, what values should you be looking out for. Yeah, I also use this notebook in the ER, which don't remind me of my ER days. I hated my ER rotation. I'm not an emergency medicine person, I don't think. And I have HPIs in here from when I was in the ER. I actually want to read you guys something, because I can really show you how I changed over the course of my rotation, because my school makes my preceptors do a mid-rotation evaluation, and then they have to do like a final evaluation. So I want to read to you guys actually what she said, because I was proud of myself. The first one didn't come back as highly as I had hoped, and she sat me down and talked to me about it, and she was like, I know we can fix this though over the course of your rotation. And ultimately we did. I ended up with 100% from the preceptor. So that's how I know I made the changes she wanted to see, and she was very proud of like where I could go in my career. Because when I told her I was interested, she was like, I want you to get as much hands-on from this as you want then. And I'm actually still close with her now, because I feel like she's going to be a good person, like a mentor to have, at least until I feel comfortable in the profession. And of course, when I start work, I'll meet other people who've been in the profession just as long as her or longer. But I definitely plan to keep in touch with her. It says, she has some previous experience in women's health with her other rotation, has good logical thought, but OBGYN information needs to be readily available when working in the field, which has improved since first day. Does standard pelvic exams well, will need more practice with difficult anatomy, picking up on information quickly and taking good notes, showing her interest in the field. Good rapport with staff and patients, has routine screening guidelines known well, but would need more exposure with certain problem visits and development of differentials. I'm confident with the time we have left, this will be accomplished. So that was my mid-rotation eval. At this point, I still had like 3 weeks on the rotation. And so when she gave me this feedback, I was like, Valencia, kick it into high gear, because I knew that this is a person that I can get a 100 out of. Like, I knew this is a rotation I can get a 100 out of, because I love going to work every day. That was probably the only rotation I went to Monday to Friday that I did not complain. And she would keep me past 5 p.m. We would sit there talking. She also gave me access to, like, I went to Genuvia's, a new medication that came out. They had a dinner. They invited my office. She invited me. I listened to so many, like, Zoom meetings, just informational things she would let me be a part of. And so I was very happy with the rotation. And by the end of it, let me read you my final evaluation. Did very well with her rotation, has good logical thought, picks up on information quickly and taking notes, showing her interest in the field. Good rapport with staff and patients. It is obvious she is passionate about the field and helping her patients. Will make a good provider. And like I said, she gave me 100%, and that was the feedback she gave me. So I was so proud of myself, and I was like, you know what? I think women's health, we still locked in. They're my girls. You come to the office, boo. I want to see you this week, girl. Where you been at? Them my girls. So yeah, women's health is still my thing. And so now on to my current rotation. Like I said, it ends next week on Tuesday. Sorry if you guys can hear my washer. I'm trying to wash some clothes. It ends next week on Tuesday, and I'm so excited. I actually think, and I hope I'm wrong, but I really think my preceptor may not like me. And I'm laughing because like the first 2-3 weeks, I feel like we had great rapport. We would make jokes all the time. I'll be laughing all the time. But then recently, she really started like criticizing me and coming down hard on me and like nitpicking with me. And I'm just like, so was that in the beginning just like a front and you really didn't like me? Because like she would like joke around and stuff, but she would be laughing at the same time. So I didn't ever feel like she didn't really like me. But now I'm feeling like, she even made a joke last week. She was like, oh, I bet you're going to be so excited when the rotation ends on Tuesday, because, you know, you're right under my nose. You know, I'm always being critical of you. So it's like, I know she knows what she's doing, but it's like, so why are you doing it? If you feel like I may be like, can take a, like, deep breath once I leave because you're criticizing me so much. Why are you criticizing me so much? And people, like other students, had picked up on it, and they're like, wow, she's being so critical of you. And I'm like, and I don't know why, because I feel like in the beginning we had such good rapport, so I don't know why she switched up on me. Now for her, my real rotation eval, she gave me like 100%. And now my final rotation eval, I sent it to her on Friday. So she hasn't done it yet. And I still see her on Monday for the last time. So, and this is kind of my fault. She wanted us to do a presentation on the patient. And I chose a patient that I had seen weeks and weeks prior, and I hadn't really thoroughly looked over her like past medical history since I saw the patient. And so when she asked me a simple question like, oh, does she have this medical condition? I was like, no, she doesn't. And then she like got it out of me because she's known these patients for years. So I went to the patient chart and I was like, oh yeah, she does have this condition. And so I think that made her think less of me, but it really was like, I did not know that the patient had that condition. And had I looked at the chart more thoroughly, I would have known that, but that's my fault. And I feel like after that moment, she really switched up on me. So maybe it is my fault. But Friday, I got a chance to present another patient, which I did much better. And like, it was me and this other person who presented a patient. He presented his patient. She didn't say no more to it. Oh, okay, that was a good thing. What would you have done if you had seen this patient on your own, blah, blah, blah. My patient, she was like, oh, when did you see her? Oh, let me call the hospital, because we had sent her to the emergency room because of the issues she had. She was like, well, let me call the hospital and see. And let me call the patient actually and see. And so she did so much follow-up with my patient that I'm just like, bruh, it's too much. It's too much. And she was like, oh yeah, and the patient's complaining about this. So yeah, it makes more sense what they did at the hospital. And so I was just like, okay. So again, I'll just say, I don't know if she really doesn't like me or she's just joking. We're gonna be able to see her in my final rotation eval. I'm gonna still give her like a thank you card like I do with everybody. And she actually loves bananas. She eats bananas every day. I'm gonna give her like, I was gonna buy her a full thing of bananas, but I think I'm just gonna bring her a single banana and just be like, thank you with a card. And my last rotation is in internal medicine, but it's internal medicine outpatient. So the way I tell it to people is like a fancy family medicine, because every patient I see has some sort of illness. I haven't seen a single patient who's just been completely healthy. And I feel like in family medicine, you get those mixed over lifespans where you can get a patient in her 20s that completely nothing wrong. Here, the youngest patient I've seen has been 33, and she did have comorbidities. So I feel like the difference between family medicine and internal medicine outpatient, internal medicine, they are going to be sick and they're going to need referrals somewhere. But I do like it because I like the way the providers work. Though I think this provider does not like me, I love how thorough she is with her notes. And that's another point of contention between us, because she's always finding something wrong. But it is her license and it is her name on it. So I totally understand why she's nitpicky, and I like the way she does her notes. So I'm trying to adopt that style when it comes to me practicing on my own. And then I work with another provider 2 days out of the week. She's also very thorough, but she's an MP. I think like to cover her own butt, she may do more than she needs to do, but it actually may cost the patient more money because you're doing more than you need to do. Internal medicine rotation is going pretty well. I feel like I'm learning. The thing is, I haven't seen that many new patients. So most of the patients I've seen have been like follow-ups, annual exams, but like they already have documented illnesses. I have like the patient that we had sent to the hospital. That was very exciting for me, and I chose to present on her because that was like new for me. I'm hoping my final eval, she still does me right, but I am nervous because I'm not sure if she likes me at all or if she was just putting up a front. That's my last 2 rotations kind of in a nutshell. Some of the jobs, because I know now is kind of like, have you started applying to jobs? Have you started doing a resume? I have made a resume. I've actually made 2 resumes, because my first one, when I was putting out job applications, people would call me like, come do an in-person interview the next day. And I'm like, bro, my resume literally says that I'm in Miami Shores, Florida. I don't graduate till December. I'm not gonna be able to drop everything and come do an interview. And then even then, you probably want me to start somewhere within a month of that interview. I'm still gonna be in school. I can't do it. So that prompted me to make a second resume that kind of like even more highlights the fact that I am still in school pending certification. This is when I should graduate. But then I also held off on applying. So I started applying early, like maybe like June, July. And that's when I'm getting all these calls to come in person that I can't make. And it gets your hopes up because you're really excited. Like I got a lot of women health hits. Actually just had a call last week about an interventional radiology job, which I kind of been applying to everything and anything because there's not that many women's health jobs in Atlanta. But of course I turned down the IR job because I don't know if I want to do IR, and also it wanted an in-person interview in Georgia, and I'm like, bro, I am still in Florida. I cannot just leave and come do an interview there. I can't do it. And then it was kind of far away from my house, the locations of like the 2 hospitals they wanted me to be working at, so I was like, yeah, no. Gonna have to turn you down. I would say based off of that things, the job search is going well. I just have stopped applying for now. I'm actually gonna pick it back up in September, maybe like mid-September. I'm gonna start applying to jobs again because I feel like now I'm a little bit closer, still kind of far away, but I'm a little bit closer to actually graduating and being able to start work. So yeah, mid-September I plan to start applying again. I realized like I've been trying so much to be like, oh, I feel like I have to be perfect for the sit down video. Like I need to have on nice clothes, I need to have done my makeup. Like I just wanted to look a certain way so bad that it was delaying me filming this. And it's like I don't have that many updates. It's just tell them about your last rotation, tell them about your rotation right now. It's like I don't have that much to do, so why am I trying to make it so perfect? I don't know. Thank you guys so much for staying tuned to the end. Let me know in the comment section if you guys have any more questions for me about like how to make it through internal medicine rotation, how to make it through your women's health rotation, what jobs I'm actually interested in or looking into. Of course, women's health is my top, but there are other specialties that I'm like, okay, I will take a job in this or that. Let me know if you know any jobs out there that may be looking to hire a new PA in December in Georgia, close to Buckhead, because I don't want to be too far away from my house either. I feel like that also affects how happy you are going to work. If I know I have an hour drive and I need to wake up 2 hours early, not gonna make me happy to go to work. So yeah, but yeah guys, thank you so much for staying tuned. Again, let me know if you have any questions in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye babe.